Hey y'all, my name is Ann Wyatt. I started my career in workforce development with the state of Kentucky in 2010. That experience ignited a deep passion for manufacturing within me. I started this show hoping to raise more awareness around the bright outlook manufacturing careers have. Join me as I sit down with some of the manufacturing industry's most successful changemakers and learn how they're partnering people with technology. It's time to give people more meaningful work. This is Workforce 4.0. Hey y'all, welcome back to another episode of Workforce 4.0. This is your host, Ann Wyatt. I'm so excited to be joined today by our guest, Clay Martin. Clay is the founder of Isla Search, and that is a recruiting company that specializes in securing talent, in creating more accessibility among the workforce for manufacturing customers. But Clay, I'm really excited to have you here. I'm going to let you talk a little bit more about yourself and just give a more broad introduction.
Sure. Thanks, Ann. First off, I really appreciate you taking my LinkedIn message. I know a lot of people get spammed on LinkedIn, so thanks for trusting me and getting back to me. So yeah, I am the founder of Isla Talent. I have been recruiting job seekers from Puerto Rico for over a decade. I just launched my second business recruiting people from Puerto Rico. Since they're U.S. citizens and they do not need a visa, there's no red tape. And so that's
awesome.
What we're doing.
Yeah, really when you reached out to me on LinkedIn, and I get spammed a lot, but you reached out and you were kind of telling me a little bit more about your mission. And I thought that it was really interesting because as a recruiter myself, visas come up, right, as a big part of the conversation sometimes. Mm-hmm. And it does seem to be a barrier to employment and also to talent pools for companies that are looking for qualified talent.
Yep. Exactly. Yeah. And also just with everything going on with the new administration and immigration, the labor shortages in all industries, but especially manufacturing and baby boomers and all the stuff, it's just, it's kind of an exciting time to be, to launching my second business.
Well, that is really cool. I definitely want to get into more of that during the conversation, Clay, with you. But, as a guest on the Workforce 4.0 podcast, I've got to start with our entry level question here. But Clay, I've got to know, if we were out on the town and we were doing karaoke somewhere, I love music. What would be your go-to karaoke song?
Okay. So I'm a big hip hop fan and like old school hip hop. So I would say Juicy by Notorious B.I.G.
And you can deliver on that?
Yeah. Big. I mean, I think I can deliver. I probably make up a lot of the words and kind of, it's I kind of mumble through some of it, but I can do a pretty good job. And it's a really good music video. And it's just, I love it. I love every single thing about that song. And it's like
a remix of an older song. So. It's a banger for sure. Awesome. Well, that's cool. Yeah. We'd all be, I think, in the audience cheering you on with that one for sure.
Yeah.
Me.
And you?
I've definitely done a variety of types of songs. I've done Alanis Morissette. I've done Sublime. I've done Lizzo.
Okay.
I've done Pink, Raise Your Glass. Okay. That was a good one. Yeah, so I'm always looking for new and different karaoke songs to add to my little list, I guess.
What about Dance with Somebody by
Somebody?
I wanna dance
that's a good one.
I forget who sings it. It's so bad.
Or Cyndi Lauper's Girls Just Want to Have Fun,
that's
right?
A good one too.
That's a good one.
Yes.
It's a good one. There's definitely some good options out there. I wanted to sing at my very first karaoke event. I wanted to sing Don't Stop Believing by Journey, but that was the one song that they had banned from their karaoke bar. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, I remember singing that song on many tables during college, fist bumpings.
That's the base of it. That's the way.
Right. Yeah.
Always drinking a party starter, right? But I think it's interesting. I think karaoke and things like that are big in HR culture and like recruiting culture because we like to have fun when we can. It's not all the time, right?
Yeah.
But you've been
Of
recruiting for
course,
some
yeah.
time, and then you just started your new company. You pronounced it Isla. See, I
Isla
want to
Talent.
pronounce it Isla.
No, it's
Yeah, Isla.
Isla Talent.
Sorry.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I wanted to choose a name that was a mix between English and Spanish because in English for my clients, the companies in need of labor, and then Spanish for my Spanish speaking employees. So I wanted something that was kind of
I
culturally
love that.
appropriate for both.
Then you've got me
Yeah.
over here. But Clay, you're from Kentucky. Yes? Did you tell me that? Yeah.
I am. Yep, Northern Kentucky. Yep. I was born in Richwood, Kentucky. Spent the first 10 years of my life in Kentucky, a big part of my heart. I love it. Kind of grew up in the woods, and then we moved across the river to Cincinnati, and I became a city
Okay.
boy.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I think I just moved to Alabama and my
Yeah,
accent just got thicker. I don't know. From Kentucky. But
I
Isla
bet.
Talent. I love
Yeah.
your mission behind that. Just out of curiosity, how do you feel like that mission is changing the accessibility to the workforce?
That's a good question. I would say, I'm really bridging the gap. I've been doing this for so long that I have so many connections in Puerto Rico, and I've gained a lot of trust with the job seekers in Puerto Rico, and that's taken a long time. So people are constantly reaching out to me for jobs, and they trust me. And then on the client side, the company side, a lot of companies, they need help and they need labor quick and they need reliable labor. Even a lot of client companies, they don't have anyone that speaks Spanish. Even if they do, I have the connection. So I'm just bridging the gap, being that middleman. I love it. I love being, the connector.
Mm,
That's a big part of being a recruiter, as you know, and that's what I love most, just like connecting with people and
that's
bringing things
awesome. I
together.
love that. Do you think that there is a big demand for talent from Puerto Rico? Do you think that's because we are facing all these different problems right now with human resource, right? We've got a large population
Hmm.
retiring. We've got the next generation that's not
Yeah.
exactly eager to work manufacturing jobs. Do you think that those are contributing
Hmm.
factors? And
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, things are changing so fast and it's only, I don't want to say it's going to get worse, but we all know there's all the statistics out there that like, oh, 28, we're going to have, 2 million manufacturing jobs available. Don't quote me on that, but it's a large amount. And so, yeah, every time I speak to a manufacturing representative, they're just talking about how they can't hire anyone and it's hard to retain people and all these changes. And then, same day I'm talking to people in Puerto Rico that are like, I need a job, come please help me. So I do think it's a great solution. It's been a great solution for many of my
that's
clients
really cool.
over the
That's
past decade.
awesome. Did you see the new report by Deloitte? We're into 2035 now. So yeah, 3
A lack
million.
of labor shortage.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well,
Okay.
no,
I
I
was off
mean
by a million. So
2028 to 2030 really is like the
mm-hmm.
2.1 million. That's been the statistic
Mm-hmm.
this whole time. But
Mm-hmm.
no, we're looking into like 2035 now. It's projected to increase by another million.
Yep. Wow. Wow.
Um, so I thought that was interesting. And then you mentioned that you were doing mission work, and that's kind of how you got connected to Puerto Rico. Do you want to tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, sure, sure. So I actually was on the Peace Corps. So it's not mission work necessarily, has nothing to do with religion, but I was a Peace Corps volunteer for about 4 years in my early 20s. I lived in Ecuador and Panama, and that just kind of really solidified my passion and affinity for Hispanic culture, Spanish, adventure, all that good stuff. I lived with indigenous groups and tribes and lived in huts and had a machete and had the best time of my life planting trees and living without running water or electricity. So it was a really special time in my life. And I feel like that kind of launched me into being an entrepreneur in a lot of ways, because when you're in the Peace Corps, you are helping do like service projects with your community. And a lot of times they have minimal resources. And so I had to kind of think creatively and not be afraid of failing and just building things from the ground up from nothing. And so I feel like all of those things that I did in the Peace Corps helped attribute to me becoming
That's
an
really
entrepreneur
cool.
and a business
That's
owner.
really cool that you were in the Peace Corps. How do you think that affected your perspective on life? Do you think that it changed your perspective on life any, or?
Significantly. I mean, I feel like it just made me
Yeah,
love freedom. I love being my own boss. I love being able to just do a lot of different things every day. I'm trying to invest my time in different stuff. But it also just created this like insatiable like curiosity of the world and adventuring and helping people and just really connecting
that's really
with
cool.
unique
That's
experiences.
really cool. Yeah, for sure. Was it an
Thanks.
adjustment when you came back?
Oh my, and I'm still adjusting. Look, I like bring the jungle with
I
me.
love the
Look at this
plants.
plant wall, like I got, that's just like 10% of all the plants in my house. I
You're
have like
like a
everywhere,
houseplant
it's like a
person. I'm
jungle
a
in here.
houseplant
So
person, Clay. Really
yeah, yeah. Yeah, it was a hard adjustment, but it took some time. But I've been back for almost
interesting.
12
Yeah,
years. So
that's really cool.
yeah.
It's really that's really cool. Some cool factoids for our audience here
Thank you.
today.
Yeah, yeah. I speak a language only spoken by 3,000 people in the world. So,
That's
you know, it's
that's pretty
that's
cool.
that's pretty fun.
Well, I love the idea and the concept behind your business model because I do think that
Hmm.
with the workforce
Hmm.
shortage that we're facing, it's going to be absolutely crucial that we start developing a more sustainable workforce. And I think that that's a problem that you're trying to solve with what you're doing. So, from your
Hmm.
perspective, could you give
Yeah.
us some tips maybe that you could share with members of the
Hmm.
manufacturing decision makers of our community on how we could develop a more
Yeah.
sustainable workforce?
Sure. Sure. So I feel like the number one thing is just thinking differently. I mean, we're in a different time. This isn't like the way that baby boomers started working in the manufacturing industry, and a lot of baby boomers might still be, they're retiring from all different levels of positions,
Mm,
but we live in a different world now. Things have changed so fast. And so I just feel like leadership and management need to think more creatively and cater to the new generations, whatever that means. I mean, we could talk for hours about that, but just stepping outside the box and really understanding that this is a different group of people, different generations that have different needs, different desires, and things like that. So I'm a big proponent of doing one-on-one meetings like every week. And some companies might say, well, we don't have time to do that. But let's be honest, we're in a world now where like people's emotional needs are very important, and that those have changed. Like people, it's okay to be vulnerable now. I feel like 30, 40, 50 years ago, like vulnerability wasn't really accepted, and now it's a new thing. So there's mental health and all that kind of stuff that's kind of at the front lines now. So I just think companies trying to take 5-10 minutes a week, just doing a one-on-one meeting with every employee if possible. Some companies might be too large to do that, but I feel like that's really going to help create empathy and understanding and avoid misunderstandings. So yeah, I mean, I think creativity in general, thinking outside the box, doing things differently, we have to. The other one, thinking outside the box
mm.
is pay. I mean, people need to make more money these days, and our management just needs to try to figure out as many ways as possible to compensate people fairly in a living wage. And I mean, that's one of the number one things that drives people. So manufacturing is not a job that you can like do remote, so you take away that benefit. A lot of people want to work. Some people would make less money as long as they can work remote. Well, manufacturing, it's like, well, you can't work remote. So if you want to cater to the Gen Z or whoever, maybe, you need to try to pay more. So I know it's easier said than done, but that's
Yeah, I
a
mean, I
huge
was just
factor.
thinking about this actually. Honestly, I was thinking about the cost of living right now is insane. It's insane. And I think that, it's
Yeah.
really easy for maybe some of the decision makers of the manufacturing workforce, right? Maybe some of the older generations. I think it's really easy for them to compare. And I think it's really easy
Mm-hmm.
for them to blame, but I don't think that they're taking a very cognitive approach. I'll just say it, a very analytical approach to it. Because if you're really
Mm-hmm.
doing the math, and if you're really looking at things, and it's so easy to say, oh, people don't want to work anymore, or, people are just really
Yeah.
proud of themselves, right? And they're asking for too much money. But it's easy to do that. But if you're looking at the analytics,
Right. Exactly. Yeah. If you're not making enough money to live, of course you're gonna not want to take that job, and then you're looked at as lazy.
right. But all the analytics
Yeah.
are there to support, all the data is there to support that it's really not a
Mm-hmm.
generational
Mm-hmm.
thing. It's cost of living. It's crazy.
Yep.
So
Absolutely.
I think it's
Yeah.
interesting. I think we should be as
Yeah.
analytical as we can be. And that's kind of where I'm hoping
Mm-hmm.
that technology plays a bigger role in the future of work.
Yep.
But I'd be interested to know how you think technology is going to play a bigger role in the future of work.
I mean, I think a big, quality control data, like, I mean, that's some of the two biggest. I mean, of course, in some ways, like people might think it's going to make us dumber, but in a unique way, it'll make us smarter and more efficient. We'll be able to allocate our time and resources to other things that, AI is going to help do us certain things, and then that'll give us time to do other stuff. So we'll be more efficient. I think it's pretty scary. I do. I really do. I mean, it's already, it's like already happening. Remember the first time I heard about ChatGPT, like 2 years ago, I was like, that what? What? And like now
Yeah,
I'm like, I use it, it's like sometimes I feel I'm like, that was great. And sometimes I'm like, man, like this ChatGPT is like doing like just wrote a contract for me that typically would take me like an hour, and it just
I
did
think
it
it's
in
great
10
though.
seconds. So it is great. No, it is. I mean, it is great. For me, it's great in a lot of ways. I just, sometimes I worry about like the younger generations that start using it, and it takes away from a little bit of their
Yeah, or their
creativity,
ability
maybe.
to critically think is concerning. Yeah, yeah, I'm very
Right.
concerned with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a recruiting friend of mine call me up today, actually, and she was talking about, AI agents, which is something that I've also discussed a lot on the show. The AI agents and the era of AI agency.
Hmm.
But we were kind of talking about some of the agentic tools that are available right now. And there was one site that she suggested called Centra, and they have multiple AI
Hmm.
agents. So there's a virtual assistant, and they're all designed for a task, which is new and different, because at first it's like, here's
Yeah.
ChatGPT, do whatever you want with it. It was like Google. It was like,
Hmm. Hmm.
let's ask it really stupid things. No,
Yeah.
but now it's like
Yeah.
developed into, okay, you can get a virtual
Yeah.
assistant GPT, you can get a recruiter
It's
GPT, you
crazy.
can get a
So crazy.
marketing GPT, and they'll bundle them for you to Centra will, and then you
Hmm.
can
Yeah.
you can have your own AI agencies that are multiple in one.
Yeah. It's pretty wild.
Yeah.
It's so
So
wild.
so that is kind of concerning to some extent. But then I use it all the
Hmm.
time, GPT. So I don't
Yeah.
know. We'll have to see.
Sure.
Have to see.
Yeah.
I was at a
It's changing
plant
pretty fast.
yesterday in Franklin, Tennessee, and it is a
Hmm.
pretty close representation, I think, of Industry 4.0. Every single individual
Yeah.
machine is connected. They have created their own firewall for any cyber security threats or anything like that. Everything is
Wow.
pretty autonomous. They have designed and created their own machining machines. So they do everything
Hmm.
within that one machine. They've have their own coding process in-house. And so now they're able to like leverage that
Wow.
technology to get a part out the door. Like if you were to order that today, you would get it next week, like 5 days to ship. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Um,
Wow.
so that's great because that's driving like a lot of productivity. And then on the flip side of that,
Hmm.
there's not a huge need for operators in that plant. There's more of a need for quality people,
Hmm.
and and IT folks and customer service people. So that was interesting. I don't know.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
I mean, it's a double-edged sword, you know? It's hard to say. I mean, it helps some people, but it also hurts some others, you know? It's helping get parts out and getting them to other companies. I mean, I'm quite certain in the next 5 years, we'll have so much data on how the pros and cons and how much it's helped certain people or how many jobs have been lost and all that kind of stuff. I mean, we already have that information, but it's only going to increase all the data.
Yeah.
So
Crazy
we'll see.
times. Crazy times. With your current customers, are they looking for people that are pretty exposed to technology? Or are you seeing that on the front line?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah, I am. A lot of, it's not as much of the entry level jobs anymore. It's a lot of like CNC operators and that understand how to, look at the blueprints and do stuff on the computers and all that. So yeah, definitely seeing some changes.
It's crazy. Different times, Clay, different times. Yeah. Yeah. Well,
I know.
what do you think? What are your best outcomes for the future of work? Like, how do you think in 10 years, if you're looking at the manufacturing workforce, what is something that you want to see?
Oh, that's such a good question. I mean, I guess in general, we're going to have to just end up seeing more IT. There's going to be more jobs, more technical jobs, right? I'm not saying that's what I hope to see. I mean, I guess that's what I would assume we're going to see. And hopefully that, I guess, in turn encourages maybe the more entry level people to start learning more of the technology that is going to be needed, that is needed and going to be needed more, the IT stuff and to manage the AI tools and all that, the robots, So, I mean, human beings, we have a special ability to adapt. And I think that's just kind of what's happening. We might not see it in 1 or 2 years, but over time, we're going to see, wow, we did kind of come up on top, and hopefully it changes the way people and where and how
Yeah.
people want to work. We might, if there's less of the physical jobs needed in manufacturing, maybe the people that would have taken those jobs are going to go somewhere else and do something else. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Maybe. But hopefully not. I'm rooting for this industry.
Mm-hmm.
I think
Yeah,
we can keep the ball moving.
of course. Yeah, it's just evolving. I mean, that's what it
Yeah,
is. It's all
absolutely.
evolving.
Well, again, I think that we're also going to have to be creative with our workforce solutions. And sometimes that means like thinking outside the box
Mm-hmm.
for sure with
Yeah,
recruiting.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Absolutely. I mean, that's what I'm here for. That's what I'm here to help out with. I mean, I can't, recruiting from Puerto Rico isn't the answer for the whole industry, but it's definitely been an answer for some companies and can be for some other companies. But it's just, HR and management just needs to keep thinking outside the box to get people in the
Absolutely. Do you
door
have
and retain
any
them.
of your favorite success stories from recruiting in Puerto Rico?
Yeah, I mean, I have a lot, but I had a guy reach out to me. His name's Javier. He reached out probably like 3 weeks ago, and situations like this happen often. But he reached out to me and he said, everyone calls me by my last name. My last name's Martin, so they call me Martin in Spanish. He said, Martin, do you remember me? And I'm like, of course, Javier. Like, I have your number saved. I see that I placed you at a job 3 years ago at a manufacturing job in Wisconsin. And he's like, yeah, like I'm still here and I've moved my family here and now they're working for the company. And he's like, I just want to thank you. Like, you've really changed my
I
life.
love
And
that.
I love that. Like, I love keeping in touch. I love keeping in touch with my, the workforce that I place. And it's always fun to get these text messages, phone calls, some of them are sending me
I love
selfies like,
that too.
hey, here I am still. And like, it's really cool. It's really cool. And as much, I love the island of Puerto Rico. I hope the island, the island of Puerto Rico's had a lot of challenges with hurricanes and political stuff and the economy, and I hope people, people can stay in Puerto Rico. And I also enjoy, people want an opportunity to leave Puerto Rico and I can help them do that. And maybe they go back with different skill sets and invest what they saved back in the island of Puerto Rico. So
It is
it's
fun.
a
There's a
fun
lot of
thing
like,
doing this. I love
I
it.
mean, sometimes in recruiting, there's like some real lows, but the highs are very high. And
Yeah.
it's always so great to hear
Yeah.
how you impact other people's lives, That's my favorite.
Yep. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, Clay,
Absolutely.
I really enjoyed our time here today. For those that are listening to the show today, could you give us a good point of contact for you?
Yeah. Yeah. My website, recruitingpuertorico.com, or you can look me up on LinkedIn. Just Clay Martin. Isla Talent is my
Awesome.
business name as well.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Clay, again for coming on and doing the podcast. I know we had some technical difficulties to start it. This has been a long time coming. So I appreciate your time and your patience. Absolutely. And for
Sure.
everybody that is
My
listening
pleasure.
today,
Thanks,
reach
Sam.
out to Clay. He is a very awesome guy. Great to be connected with him. And we will see you all next week.